Welcome my friend to AA Games' Lorcana segment. This is the space in the channel that we have dedicated to Lorcana, the trading card game from Ravensburger Games using the very distinct Disney intellectual property. In this particular feature I set out what I think of as a highlight reel of the best bits of the starter decks for Lorcana. And in this episode we're looking at the starter decks from the second chapter, Rise of the Floodborn. So, my initial impressions. Well, we've got the great combination of product quality and presentation again from Ravensburger. There is a very real presence of Disney corporate influence here. And with the continuation of the deck list on the side of the box and the nice addition of asterisk cards, where we can see an asterisk next to the named card if it is repeated in this starter deck from the Chapter 1 decks released back in September. Is that a hint as to the versatility and efficiency of these cards? The decks themselves are wrapped in wax paper, which, in my opinion, gives us that slightly elevated quality that sets this game above the other trading card games currently available. And, of course, the Rise of the Floodborn booster pack, available in every starter deck. The starter packs are giving us two new colour combinations with an Amber and Sapphire deck and an Amethyst and Steel deck. So a similar setup with a 60 card deck, but into new territory with the Amber and Sapphire deck, led by the Queen commanding presence from Snow White and Gaston intellectual powerhouse from Beauty and the Beast. Incidentally, TCGplayer.com named the Amber and Sapphire colour combination as the fourth strongest colour combination currently being played at tournaments. So I have high hopes for the balance and power of this basic starter deck. And we can see from the deck that the shift ability is really being pushed in this deck. Both the Queen and Gaston have the shift keyword and have 3 companion character cards each. So, one more of each card added and you would have maxed your 4 named cards in this deck. For me, the Queen is the big hitter and offers the best combo if choosing between Gaston and the Queen. Her 3 companion characters are a single ink to get into play, and you are paying only 2 ink to get the main Queen character in play. That's a total of 3 ink to play a 5 ink card, which promotes a 2 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore card, up to a 4 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore card, who has the Who is the Fairest ability, which not only reduces the strength of an opposing character, but can turn either the Queen or another friendly character into a very intimidating +4 strength if challenged, making the Queen a power 8 card, forcing your opponent to sacrifice a character if they choose to challenge her. Potentially then, on turn 3, you have in play a highly efficient card that will build lore steadily in those early rounds. That is tasty. On a flavour note, I love the fact that you have all 7 dwarfs present in this deck. The whole deck with Snow White, the Queen and the dwarfs just feels like a really well considered and very tight deck. Kudos to the designers at Ravensburger. At the top end of the ink cost, you've got Christopher Robin, not only kicking out a hardy 6 willpower, so he's not being banished in a hurry, but also with the ability to gain 2 lore when you ready the character, when you have another 2 characters in play. This guy is a lore-making machine, especially as you have a multitude of cheaper 1 and 2 ink characters in the deck, to ensure that your playing field is well supplied with characters before Christopher Robin Adventurer makes an appearance in the later rounds. When Christopher Robin Adventurer is joined by his lifelong friend Winnie the Pooh, having a think, then the lore engine is joined by the ink machine, as Winnie the Pooh having a think allows you to add an extra ink to your inkwell whenever Winnie the Pooh having a think quests, quite literally the honeypot that the card's ability promises. There is no wonder there is only 1 of each card in the deck, and no doubt why the cards are both commanding a healthy price as singles. And lastly, for this particular highlight reel, to keep all of these wonderful characters alive, we have Snow White, lost in the forest, and her ability, I Won't Hurt You, to keep that damage counter on your other characters to a minimum, which, when combined with the gumbo pot and porpsicle items, means that you are in business to keep those lore and ink engines in play for longer. What a deck. And those are just some of the highlights. I could have gone on and on.